Alright guys, welcome back. Chris here from CCJ City Elites, bringing you guys another deck profile. And today I have this very mischievous Android 13 deck that I've dubbed Nightmare 13. This is one of the more annoying hand destruction decks I've ever built. And I think this deck can do really well. It's all about chance, obviously. This is a 50... I think it's a 53 card deck. I try to slim it down as much as I possibly can to make sure that I'm having consistency with what I am trying to draw. But you guys will see that. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down below. And we'll get here into the deck profile. 13 does not draw on his front side, but you awaken at 6 life if you have a 14 or 15 in the drop area. And then at 4 life, or at 4 life or 6 life, you basically draw 2 and you flip. And on this side, draw once per turn. And then if your opponent drops a Son Goku or a battle card with a 6 drop or less in the drop area by one of your skills, this card gains crit. So you can give your leader crit off of any of your skills and make them drop cards. Very, very strong. So here's kind of what we do here. The main card in the deck is Sodic Fist. This card here is nuts. So you drop this and a 14. You drop this, which is a 14, and a 15 card from your hand. Draw up to 2 cards from your life. Draw 1, and then your opponent drops a card from their hand. So on turn 0, you can start your hand destruction without playing any energy. The idea with this is you use this ability to get the 6, awaken, draw 2 cards. So now you just drew 3 cards from your deck, 2 cards from your life, so you just drew 5. If you have another one of these, use it again, do the ability, and now your leader has crit if they drop a battle card. It's pretty nuts. It's a lot of hand destruction on one turn. But even if you go first, you can use this ability, make him drop a card, and then awaken. And now your opponent cannot swing with your leader and deal damage to you on the first turn, which feels pretty good. So this is the main card, but we do run quite a bit of 14 targets. So we run Android Troop, which is 14 and 15. Doesn't count for both in the drop, just counts as one. But you can pitch this card also from your hand and draw a card if you really want to. But this is one of the targets that we want. 3 of the yellow 15. This card you can also combo with it. If your hand's really weird early and you need to use an energy for something, you can combo this card, get it on board, and then take 2 life. And now if you have those cards in your drop area, you can awaken. And this also restands an energy as well. It just gives you a body. But we also mainly have this in here for Sodic Fist, obviously. And then we run one of this Android 15. Just gives me another target for Sodic Fist. So it's quite a lot. That's what, 8 targets there for Sodic Fist. So we should be able to see him and start making them drop cards. 3 of the Terrible Creator. This is another card we can just use to search out pieces. We can use it to search out our 13 pieces, our Super 13 pieces, or a 14 and a 15 as well. The super combo we run is the Stouted Heart Android 16. You don't want to run the Android 18 super combo because that puts cards at the bottom of their deck, and that does not trigger this effect or another effect that we have in the deck. We need to have our opponent drop cards to the drop area in order to get this crit effect to go off. So we need this. So this card here at 4 life, this becomes a 10k combo, and your opponent has to drop a card. Really, really strong. For this deck, especially because you're able to gain crit off of it, and you can make them drop more cards because of that as well later on, which I will show you. So 2 Android 17 counterplays. You can, if your leader's an Android, you can choose 1 battle card with it 4 or less. That is an Android in its name, placed on the drop area. So this is if we are not seeing any of our pieces. We need to play some defense, but this also allows us to get one of those, the other Android in our drop, and then we can awaken. More than likely, after turn 2, you're going to have the ability to awaken, but we want to awaken turn 0 or turn 1 every game. So this is just some more consistency pieces for that. 3 Demigra Unisons. I found that this deck, I run mono yellow, not mono yellow, I run mono green as the energy that I'm charging. So turn 1, there's not much you really want to do. Turn 1, and if you have a Demigra in your hand, might as well just play it +1, and now you have another card that you can attack with. Also, this -3 works out really, really well later It does have synergy with your leader. So when you kill a battle card, whenever it hits the drop area, this card will gain crit. It just has some good utility there. Actually, well, since we're running that, 2 of the Dodorias, same thing. Makes them drop a card, go to the drop area, and then now our leader gains crit. Obviously, you can use this on your turn as a counterplay as long as you have a unison in play. Also on your opponent's turn, just to make them drop a card. 2 Shocking Death Ball. Defensive purposes, also KOs a card. It's a battle card. Leader gets crit. Obviously, it doesn't matter. This is on defense, but does have some uniqueness later on in the deck. 4 Cellar Destroying Kamehamehas. We're playing green hand destruction, so we're going to run 4 of these. And then 2 Master Roshis to pick them back up later if we absolutely need to. Now we get into the 13s. So we have 4 of the 13 the Brilliant. This came out of last year's anniversary box as support for this deck. So when you play this, you can't play this card from any area if there is a Android 13 card in play. So you have to have you cannot have an Android 13 in play already before you play this card, which kind of sucks a little bit, but that's okay. This is a free Union Absorb into your big guys. You pick a 14 and a 15 from the drop, put it under this card, and you pick a 13 from your hand and put it on top of it. So this just says, this basically makes it so you can't play out multiple 13s. But you do have this guy as well. So this is your 4-drop. You can play this on turn 4 and go into the chain as well. When you play this card, you get to KO one of your opponent's battle cards, and then for 1 green, you can go into this. Now this is obviously a turn 5 play, but this is just another one you can use to Union Absorb. But all of these have the same effect, where you take a 15 and a 14 from your drop, and you put them underneath them, like so. Basically, you put them underneath them, and now we can go into our big 13s. So we have 3 of the Unending Destruction 13. This card is really nuts. So it's 30k double strike. When you play this card, your opponent, basically, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KOs it. Your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and KOs it, sorry. So if they only have 1 card on board, obviously that card has to be chosen, but they choose a card, it dies. When one of your opponent's battle cards is placed in the drop area, by any skill other than this one, other than this auto, they have to drop a card. So what happens is when you do this, you play a card, they KO a card. When that card hits the drop area, they have to drop a card. This is not once per turn, and this can be by any skill other than that auto currently right there. So this ability, if it's a battle card, they drop a card. If they drop a card with this, they drop a card. Battle card goes to the drop with this, they drop a card. You kind of see where I'm going with this? Same thing with that. Same thing with your Unison. And then same thing with your super combo. So if you super combo twice when you're swinging, let's say you swing with your leader. You super combo twice on top of them. They drop 2 battle cards. They have to drop 2 more cards from their hand. Really strong. They made this an auto just in case you get 2 of these that says that you can't drop them from this skill. That way your opponent is not you don't have 2 of these on the field and you just keep looping them back and forth to make them drop cards. But this is really, really strong. And then we have the Successor 13. Now I said we don't charge yellow. This card is only coming out due to my Union Absorb. There may be a time where I charge one of these turn 1, and now I have access to being able to Successor, but it's mainly there just for consistency with Union Absorb. Now this card I thought was really bad until I really read it and found out how good this card was. So if your leader is an Android 13, you choose 3 Android cards in your drop area and bottom deck them in any order. So you can bottom deck your super combos, you can bottom deck your Android 17 Negate, you can bottom deck your Stoic Fists. Anything that you want in your drop area, you just have to bottom deck 3 Androids. That is the requirement. From there, you can choose up 20 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So you don't have to choose one if there isn't one to choose. And then your opponent drops 2 cards from their hands. That's really strong too. So when your opponent tries to, basically, they just drop 2 cards. You're not paying an energy requirement for that. You just have to fulfill the drop area requirement. So they drop 2 from that. Let's say you have this on board, they drop 2 more. If they drop 2 battle cards, just another 30k double strike. Really, really, really annoying to deal with. So we have 6 total big 13s to evolve into. So consistency wise, you should be able to hit one of them on turn 3 almost every game. And I know this card's not great because it doesn't have deflect, doesn't have barrier, but if we're playing the deck right, our opponent's not going to have any cards in hand anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. If they decide to counterplay this and they have no cards left in hand now, and then I have the ability to make them drop a card and gain crit with my leader, they're not going to draw any cards, and we're still plussing, so it doesn't really matter too much. I do run 3 of the Friezas just for counterplay purposes. It also allows me to gain crit on my turn. If my opponent plays something, I can use this to pop it, and then my leader gains crit, or trigger one of the 13 effects. Zamasu, because this combo is really good for green. It's just like running a Booney, honestly. In blue, if you have the opportunity to use these cards, you should use them. Makes them drop a card every turn, and when they drop a card, it's a battle card again. Opponent gains, well, our leader gains crit, and our 13 makes him drop a card. Now this is a really fun interaction here. I'm interested to see how this works. So this Vegeta came out of the anniversary box, probably the most powerful unison right now in the game. When you play this card, you have the choice, the auto, you choose one card in your hand, discard it. When this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier and KO. I think when you play this card, you have to do this. I've seen people playing it where they don't have to, but it's an auto, and it doesn't say choose up to, or you may choose. It just says choose one, and when this card's played, you have to do this. So I think you have to, but what happens is when you play this card, you basically destroy your entire opponent's board. So obviously, that will trigger your leader, if they have battle cards on board, because he will gain crit, but also this effect too, which I think is really interesting. So if you KO 4 battle cards on the board, and you have this on board, your opponent then has to drop 4 cards because 4 battle cards are going to the drop area. It's a really interesting mechanic. I don't know if that's how it's going to work, but as of right now, that's how it sounds like, because this is an auto. Just when any battle card hits the drop area, they have to drop a card, and this will KO everything. So if they have a big board, you do this, they drop cards. Now they should have no cards in hand. Then this card is a U+1. Card gets 5k. It's a 25k double strike crit, so just more crit for your head top, you know. And then you have -5, where if your leader is an evil Bobbity or all of your energy is mono green, this is kind of why we want to charge mono green. You choose 3 cards in your opponent's hand and discards them. So that's why we don't really want to charge one of the successors. But if we do, this is still a 25 double strike crit every single turn, so I'm not too mad about that. That also has a board wipe built into it. And then lastly, we have a Great Ape Saiyan. In this deck particularly, I mainly use it for the combo effect, being able to KO one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, because then that will trigger my leader. That will also trigger this, so that's kind of the main purpose of this card. But I can hard cast it for 5 and then get a 40k dual attack triple strike card, so that's not terrible either. So, but it's mainly there for its utility. So that's what we have here for the 13 deck. Let me know what you guys think of this mischievous deck that I have built. I'm going to test it this weekend. We'll figure out how good it is, maybe make some changes to it. I think it's going to be really fun to play against. I'm not going to play it a lot because I'm not trying to play as much hand destruction right now. I want to play some other things, to have some fun. But it is a really interesting deck. So we will see. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.